I'd like to call a meeting of the Avoyelles Parish meeting to order. Today's date is April 3rd, 4 p.m. Please stand for the opening prayer followed by the pledge.
We can. Let's do it.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our parish and our communities. Bless our efforts today and always, as always, and keep us mindful of the responsibility we have to serve with integrity. We continue to send prayers for our living veterans, our elderly, the sick, the men and women of our armed forces. Dear Lord, please continue to bless our great country, state, and parish. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Okay, buddy. Go. Yeah,
A couple announcements to make before we get started. The Planning Commission meeting will be held Wednesday, April 30th at 5 p.m. at the Maintenance Office in Mansoura. There's a public hearing for nuisance and blighted property, which is on the agenda today, but it will be held Tuesday at 4:45 in this room right here at 5 at the police jury meeting. And the library board will meet Wednesday, April 16th at 5 p.m. at the Bourlonville branch. Okay. First, we'll start with delegates. Mr. Ben Turner, please limit 3 minutes, please, sir.
Thank you, everybody, for letting me come and speak this afternoon. I passed out some packets to everybody just for you to take a look at. I came to question the right-of-way that the police jury maintains and how wide it is, and I'm hoping I can get some answers from y'all as far as the portion of the road that's serviced. As my understanding goes, there should be some type of easement. Everyone's property crosses the road from the highway to mine, including mine. And right now there's a fence across my driveway, and I believe it's in the easement. It's inside of the property line opposite of me, but on the road. It's only 7 feet from the center of the road. And I'm just trying to find the right direction to go with.
Ben, you didn't call the police jury maintenance guy?
Who is that?
Kevin Borden.
No, I didn't.
He's not here yet, but he'll be here shortly.
Should be coming.
What would he do?
He should know the right of way. He should have should be on record at the Bourne.
I've asked. I went
I went
to
to
the
the court way back when for some
Yeah.
other stuff, not this. And there's nothing in the clerk of court that is recorded that the police jury has any right of way or owns any property where the parish roads are.
which would be an issue because everyone's property crosses the road. So if
Well-
you're driving through private property with a motor grader,
Seemed like the district attorney said that there is an easement
he did.
Yeah,
at the
that's
last meeting, correct?
Kevin ought to know.
Well, he's not here, so
No, I didn't contact Mr. Gavin.
he'll be here shortly, maybe.
So
But I'm going by what the DA said,
correct.
okay?
Jonathan.
Right now,
not-
my
Jonathan not coming?
Did you find something in court that was documented over here with an easement or right of way or anything?
well, other than the right of ways,
You
that's
have?
I have a right of way on my survey plat, and then there's one on the plat from 1986, and it matches mine of the 40 foot. And I talked to Jared Couvion, who did the survey. He says that the survey, the easement starts at the property line and extends across the road 40 feet. So from my property line, our shared line, 40 feet into Lake Pearl, across the road, which would, the fence anywhere aside from across my driveway wouldn't be an issue, but it's blocked. I mean, I was at work when the fence went up, and it blocked my wife in and my children, and we can't get mail, and emergency services have been blocked until I can make another driveway. So it's an issue. It's an issue, and it's an issue that shouldn't be. So,
Well, I'm just gonna, district attorney told us it's a matter of being a civil suit. So-
sure. Well, and that's why I came, because I'm questioning how is it civil if it's in the road, basically, and blocking mail, isn't that? How is that civil? Blocking emergency services, I don't understand how that's civil either. If something, God forbid, something would happen and I have a makeshift driveway right now, but if a fire truck tried to pass down it, they wouldn't make it, right? So, if my house burns down, my children are inside, somebody gets hurt at my house, how is that civil?
What are you asking from us?
Is there an easement on the road? Does the police jury maintain a right-of-way of this road or not?
According to what I heard the DA said, and everybody else sitting up here heard it, he said it was.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm going by.
And then if that's the case, even if it's the minimum, which is 30 foot, right? This is well inside of that easement. The road's only 14 feet wide,
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe I need more clarification from Charlie, because I went home and looked at my plat, and my plat on the property that we bought says what the right-of-way is, but my right-of-way is the right-of-way to Wildlife and Fisheries, because Wildlife and Fisheries owns that road, okay? So it gives Wildlife and Fisheries the right to come across the right-of-way if they need. It gives a right-of-way to the utilities company, so that they don't have to ask them our permission. In no way, shape, or form. Now, I'm outside the city limits, but I'm in the parish. The parish doesn't own that road. I guess the confusion comes into when you say there's an easement or / a right-of-way. What does that right-of-way entail?
correct?
Correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out. If
Correct.
it's a, so, and my second question would be, on my deed, it lists all of the boundaries, right? Property boundaries. And it lists the property owners by name. Okay, but when you get to the side that the road's on, it lists Lake Pearl Road. It doesn't list Lake Pearl Land Company. It doesn't list anybody else. It lists Lake Pearl Road. Okay, so that tells me that easement is the boundary of the road, in my best estimation. I need some clarification from you.
Jonathan wasn't coming?
No, they won't come here.
He can make a report at the sheriff's office probably within a week or 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
So we sent a deputy out just to try to get some measurements and stuff, from the center of the road and this and that, just to give someone like Kevin maybe an idea when he did look at it. So, he might have a better understanding unless he was right out there and look at it and see besides that, so.
Maybe Kevin's on his way. He's running late, so maybe you pull him out when he gets here and go ask him. So,
Okay.
and we can get with Charlie again.
Did you find out anything? Did you mention the clerk of court? Did you find out? Did you go to her?
I went.
And what does she have with the police jury and any right of way there? There's none, right?
Not that.
I had asked
produced
her
it.
last year about
Yeah.
that too,
And I did put in a public records request for that information, but I haven't received anything back yet.
Okay. She kind of told me the same thing, that there wasn't, and I don't know what easement Charlie's I don't know. And furthermore, it's probably for a court to do. I mean,
It sounds like he's
if
basing
it's
it
not
on,
our property, I don't know.
sounds like he's basing it on any parish road that there is.
I guess that's my question, is
It's
if,
not a standard right-of-way.
what do you mean?
Highway 29 going through me has a 8-foot right-of-way.
Okay.
But just because my family wouldn't give them more than that
Yeah,
way back. So there's not a standard right-of-way width. But Kevin ought to know what that's supposed to be.
that's fine.
He'll be
That's
here
fine.
shortly, so maybe you can pull him out and ask him, or I'll ask him when he shows up.
Okay.
Middle of the ditch going through us.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, is Mr. Steve Williams here? Mr. Williams?
Yes, I wish to purchase the property at 108 North Louisiana Avenue, Bunkie, Louisiana.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to elaborate on this, Adam?
Yeah, that's an adjudicated piece of property and a house on it. It's been adjudicated, and as far as I know, we should be able to get a clear title on it.
Okay.
But we're gonna have to have Jonathan get the process started and move forward on it.
Because I've been keeping the grass cut up too. So
Right.
Been about 12 years.
Okay, and we'll get with Jonathan and see.
Yeah. The mayor's here from Bunkie also, and she's involved in this, and she'd like to see that done also in Bunkie. It's a nice little house and a nice piece of property.
So do it belongs to Bunkie and the parish?
Right, it's a 50-50 with Bunkie and the parish.
Okay, then we'll give it Jonathan, see if we can't make it happen.
Yeah.
All right?
He's a
Neighbor.
neighbor who
106.
owns the property next door, so. By the way, and the other part, mayor tells me that they have contacted the other landowners there that don't want the property.
Okay,
Mr. Williams wanted it,
and then that'll be,
Should be easy enough.
yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay,
Okay.
we'll get with Jonathan, and Mr. Thomas is over our adjudicated properties. Maybe you can get in touch with him or whatever. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
20 years, we need to speed it up.
All right, good.
You know how faster we can take it.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Next, we have Mr. Nicole Fry from the Local Provider Participation Fund.
I've got a packet. Can I
That's
give it to
fine.
one person to share? Thank you. My name is Nicole Fry. I'm an attorney from Brazil, Saxony, and Wilson, and I work for Allegiance Healthcare System, which owns the Avoyelles Hospital here in town. You may recognize Mr. Tim Curry, your hospital CEO.
Hear you. A bit louder.
The microphone is just for recording, not for projecting, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is Nicole Fry. I'm the Baton Rouge lawyer. I work for Mr. Tim Curry and his company, Allegiance Healthcare Management. Mr. Sam Fulton is VP of Governmental Affairs. So we are here. In this packet, I have some documents in there, and here is the short story. The cost of medical care for a Medicaid patient is woefully underpaid. The Medicaid reimbursement rate doesn't even cover the cost. So every time a hospital performs that medical care, they are losing money, and they are unable to properly invest in the equipment they need to give the best care that they can in their area. The state of Louisiana is trying to catch up with some of the other states. Texas and Florida started a plan. It's called a Local Provider Participation Fund. And what it does is it allows the local government to levy a tax on its hospitals. And so far, you're probably thinking I'm nuts. But what this tax does is it goes from the hospital to the parish up to LDH. And we know that the Medicaid plan is a federal program that is managed by the state. So when Avoyelles Parish, should you elect to do this, sends this tax money up to the LDH, it provides money for the non-federal share. And the way this works is, as the non-federal share increases, the federal share grows even faster. So the Medicaid reimbursement rate becomes supplemented and enhanced. There are two hospitals in this parish that would participate in this. It would be Avoyelles and Beacon. The very last page in this packet that I've handed you is a letter of support from Beacon. They are on board. They would like to see this program happen. And I have met with some of you and explained this program to some of you. And you may recall, we had a little bit of trouble with establishing the program and the sheriff as the collector with his fee. And to back up a little bit, the parish levies the tax and the sheriff collects it. But the first step is to start the program. So what I've done is, you may notice there's a letter that looks all marked up in here. It is a copy of the letter of the implementation plan that I sent last month. And I decided the best thing for us to do now is to just get the infrastructure in place. Let's not set the sheriff's fee yet, because we can't set the tax yet. We don't know what kind of numbers will go through until the program is started. Once the parish enacts the ordinance, the program is started. Do I have permission to exceed? I heard a timer go off.
Oh, you're all right.
You're good? Okay.
You're
After the parish enacts the program, then the people involved who are able to calculate the tax rates and get agreement with LDH can then figure out what kind of tax would happen in this parish. And that's the time that the parish would set the rate via resolution. And it just seemed to make sense to also set the sheriff's fee at that time, when we have all the numbers in place and we have more information. So the 5-minute tour of the packet in front of you is the implementation plan, which is that cover letter, a draft of the ordinance. This ordinance is the one that East Baton Rouge Parish is planning to use right now. They're planning to put theirs to a vote in May. Vernon Parish is planning to pass this next month, right, Sam? I included a copy of the public notice, and that's the question I'm here on today. I would like for Avoyelles, the police jury, to run the 30-day public notice that's required before you can pass the ordinance in front of it. I also provided a copy of some talking points just to help you understand a little better how this program works. I provided a copy of the state law where our state legislature is allowing the state of Louisiana to do this for their hospitals. And of course, the last letter is the letter of support from Beacon, Mr. Sean Wendell.
No money will be coming from anyone in the parish. It's going to be coming through. You can't increase the charge on nation. Patient has nothing to do with charging patients extra money and all that. Does not happen.
And Sam is quoting the state law. The state law prohibits the hospitals from adding a surcharge to a patient's bill.
So where's the money gonna come from?
The two hospitals. So remember,
The money's gonna come from the feds.
so
We're
last
not
time.
asking our citizens to pay a tax.
You've already paid the tax. They've been doing this for years, and what it is, it's federal funding.
Yeah, I've heard about this. This
And
is,
Florida, Texas have been giving the money, but Louisiana's been behind. We haven't implemented this program, so we're trying to get this plan implemented.
but all of the money comes from Medicaid.
No, it
Yes,
comes from taxpayers.
federal income tax dollars.
Yeah,
But it's money that's already been collected.
correct,
Yes.
It's not a new tax.
correct.
Is money we sending to Washington DC right now?
Yes.
You're sending it down, it's going to Texas.
It's going to Texas.
And we're not getting it yet.
So it's going to the other states and we're not getting our a
Correct.
portion of
Now
it?
it's time for us to get our portion.
As long as we're not levying the tax on our taxpayers.
No, we're not gonna hurt our taxpayers at all.
Yeah.
So this would come out of the hospital's budget,
But,
bottom line.
and what's nice about it is it's a 1-for-3 match, I think, for every dollar we put up, we get $3 back.
So we're already putting the dollar with it.
No, we're not, but we will once the ordinance is passed.
So I thought you said the money was already going to the feds.
The federal
The
government.
money was already going to the feds.
Correct.
The federal share comes from the federal budget, which is already there through the income tax dollars we pay.
The IRS income tax, that's paid. So your IRS income tax, if you pay any every year, part of it goes into that of
This
the
program.
federal level.
Correct.
Into the
Comes back to the state
Medicaid
of
program.
Louisiana.
That's correct.
And that's gonna come back to the state of Louisiana.
And each parish has to approve for that parish to get the money.
Right, so, and this is to enhance that reimbursement. So right now, the Medicaid reimbursement to the hospital was woefully underfunded. It does not cover the cost of the medical care in a Medicaid situation. So every time your hospital is rendering care to a Medicaid patient, they are losing money. And Allegiance has been working hard to improve its reimbursements and doing everything it can. This is one more program that it can use. And the way it works is as the state puts up the state share, which is typically 20 to 35%, the federal share comes down faster. So when we put more money into the pot, it makes the feds pay more and faster. And then that money goes back into the hospitals through their reimbursement.
How does the parish participate?
So the first step is to run a 30-day notice that you're intending to pass an ordinance creating the local Provider Participation Fund 30 days prior to the meeting. And last I checked, your next meeting that allows us to do this, May 13th. If we run it in the Parish Journal now, we could notice it for the May 13th meeting. Then you would vote on the ordinance, and if you pass the ordinance, the next step is for us to get to LDH, see how we can maximize this for the parish. We'll come in and we'll provide the police jury with a resolution with the tax rate. By then, we will have consensus with the sheriff and what fee he will take out of his collection, for his collection efforts, and then you would pass the resolution.
Does this body get to participate in the fees also?
Yes, sir. Right now, the statute says the police jury takes an administrative fee of 5% up to $20,000. The police jury sets the sheriff's fee not to exceed his customary and usual rate.
And the hospitals get the rest of it? There's 2 other potential hospitals in the parish. Will they be allowed to participate also?
So,
They're nonprofit.
Bunkie is a governmental entity, and they're immune from taxes. And that's my practice area, by the way. I'm not a healthcare attorney. I'm a state and local tax attorney.
There's a new one being constructed right now.
The elite, an elite,
Freedom? Is that-
it
Oh,
will,
okay. All right.
it will
That's
participate
the
in
other one
this.
that you're talking about here? Okay.
So y'all have to come back to the jury for that one to get in?
The police jury will set the tax rate each year by resolution. And because your taxpayers want this to happen, we will come to you with the tax rate. We've even drafted the tax bill for you. We're trying to make this as easy as it can be. The hardest thing for the parish is to pick a bank and open a bank account. There will be a
It'd be hard.
Well, we'll know at that public hearing what our taxpayers are for.
Mr. Lane?
Could you explain to us again the deal with the hospital paying $1 and getting back $3? So what's the idea behind that?
So, when the hospital performs medical care for a Medicaid patient, they get reimbursed through the Medicaid program, and it's a fixed amount. It's a per diem. Whether that patient costs $5,000, $10,000, the hospital only gets the per diem, and it's $1,200 a day. That's what the hospital gets. But they have to save lives, and they have to give good care, right, no matter what it costs. So every year, the center, CMS collects a cost report from the hospitals, which looks kind of like an income tax return, but it's way more in depth. The hospital has to report everything they spend their money on. At the end of the year, CMS and Medicaid will do somewhat of it's an attempted true-up. They do a directed physician's pay. There's a supplemental pay based on extraordinary expenses the hospital incurred. What we're asking for is one of those programs that'll help fund more money into the hospital. So the only thing really limiting it is the state share. And the state doesn't have the money to do it, so the hospitals are willing to put that money up in the form of a tax. And it has to be by a tax, or Medicaid's not going to honor it.
And let's keep in mind, this parish, as many of y'all know, is, we see about 60% of our clientele is Medicaid. So obviously, with the renovations and things that we've done, we want to offer those services to, any and all patients, regardless of the insurance. And I think we can all agree that our parish is very unhealthy. So these types of programs like this allow for us to take care of those patients and continue to grow and bring specialists to allow, people to have access to urologists or neurologists or cardiologists, regardless of your payer mix. Because a lot of patients that do have Medicaid, if you go to Alexandria, Lafayette, and any of those places, you're not getting an appointment with someone in a private practice. So we're able to then recruit these specialists to come here, and we can take care of patients of all insurance, payer mixes, payer class, with the help of these programs. So it's kind of like a win-win across the board, really. The patients ultimately, and that's first and foremost, is who's getting the care. We're putting up the money. Nobody's having to come out of any money. You are receiving a portion, sheriff's receiving a portion, and the hospitals receiving their portion, we're able to continue to provide service to all patients here. So I mean, it's really a no-brainer.
And it really helps the hospital grow.
You know, that when you mention that it's a tax on the hospital, that's the part that I think can be easily misunderstood. Who is being taxed?
There will be 2 bills that will go out. Say we get this going for the very next Medicaid fiscal year, which is July 1 through June 30th. Beacon Hospital and Avoyelles Hospital will receive an assessment notice. And they're the only ones. They will pay it.
And the tax will, but I
So,
mean.
I call it a tax.
Okay.
But under statute in Title 40, it's called an assessment.
Okay.
It's almost, isn't it almost, it's like almost like an IGT here, almost IGT and the money.
Well, the intergovernmental transfer is going to go from the parish to LDH into the Medicaid program, which
Right.
cedes the Medicaid funding from the federal government, pulls it down.
Correct.
So the sheriff would send an assessment bill, if you will, to the hospital.
Yep,
X amount of dollars is what you owe for your assessment under this program.
this year.
The hospital, and obviously the hospital thinks it's beneficial regardless of what you're gonna have to come out of pocket for that assessment, that in the end, when that reimbursement filters down from our IRS tax dollars, that it will reimburse you at a higher rate than what you initially got reimbursed.
So in other words, the money that is being collected already is being allocated in other states, and Louisiana is not taking any kind of benefit from the hospitals at all. So by you guys stepping in and able to pay that overhead, so if it's $5,000, you paid up front, the state has no funds, then the money that's already in the pot, we get to pull from that pot too, and you can benefit yourself by getting double that back and make the hospital better and have protection.
Correct.
Very easy.
Yes.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
It's really a no-brainer. I mean, once it all clicks into place.
And only for Medicaid, so for those of us who are on TRICARE, which basically pays at the lower rates, like Medicaid does, it would not go specifically just to Medicaid.
Okay.
And it's just, remember, there'll be 4 checks, I think we'll pay a quarter, and the sheriff will, and we don't even know what the amount's gonna be until LDH gives us that amount. The Bulls will give us a certain amount, our hospital in Burr will give the amount to Burr Parish, Ruston will give a different amount, Webster Parish will give a different amount, Banking Parish will give a different amount, Captain Shooting, they're all calculated on our cost report. Every hospital has a different cost report, and that's what they're gonna base it on. So we don't get in it, we're gonna probably have a couple hundred hospitals with different amounts.
So y'all are going in blind, not even knowing what you're gonna have to pay and what you're gonna ultimately make.
Yes, ma'am.
Question in the back.
Let me ask you this, so we're discussing this, and we understand that part. The question is now, exactly what does the jury report do? I mean, why, if all this can be facilitated from the state and the federal funds, what does the jury have? What's that for?
It's a part.
We need the local government to levy a tax because under the Medicaid rules, they're not going to honor it if the hospitals just give money to the state. The local government has to levy an assessment before the Medicaid program will do this. And they won't consider it in a parish where there's only one taxpayer. There at least has to be 2 taxpayers because there's a federal law that requires that any taxes they cover and accept into
So
this.
the jury is gonna levy a tax against the hospital?
Correct. And the sheriff will collect it.
It's really not that.
We don't have our attorney here, and I heard you said as long as you get this done for the fiscal year, which is July.
We'd love to have this ordinance in place.
You're making we're getting a 10-minute presentation even though you came before. I just don't wanna.
It's gonna take a little studying.
Yeah, I'd like for us to,
Is it possible
man, I've
to,
learned from the past, if something sounds too good to be true, you need to look at it pretty good.
is it that you're not ready to run the public notice?
Well, we gotta adopt a resolution first.
Right, and for
And then once
Tuesday.
we adopt that, then we put the notice out that we'll have a public meeting on it 30
That's-
days from then.
That's right, I'm
So,
here.
I mean, as long as we do this before the fiscal year, we're fine. So I just don't want to be pressured. I don't want this jury to be pressured.
So if we do a public hearing in, if we vote on it in May, public hearing in June, that meets our deadline for July, correct?
Sure.
That give us more time to get some attorney input from our end, the sheriff,
And it's a shame Mr. Riddle's not here. He did express to me through email his support, but
he needs to express that to us.
I understand.
He was very confused, and there was debate back when we had our meeting about what the sheriff would get charged, and I thought there was a few things to work out. So,
Mr. Riddle?
Mr. President, I was under understanding that the group would come back and we would have some more understanding on that. Was the last time whenever we met.
I think that's
David's, the sheriff's here also. There was his attorney, and we had a few little questions.
We were just, different sheriffs in different parishes collect different rates, you know, and we were just asking about that. But the big thing too is, like Mr. Darrell said, I think people, like you said, are just trying to figure out where's this coming from. If you give them the federal paperwork that says what you're saying, I don't think any jury's gonna have a problem. I think they just want to read and see it instead of hear it, you know? I think that's what
What committee would this go to? Wouldn't y'all agree that it goes to a committee?
Sure. I imagine go finance probably, huh? Finance.
Finance?
Let me ask you this something.
Be willing to,
We already had one. Was it under a finance committee meeting?
No,
Or they were just brought in?
Impromptu.
would y'all be in
We
agreement?
really didn't know what it was about. I didn't, okay. I'll take the blame for that. Can your people, and maybe we can get the DA by this is April, by the end of this month? So maybe at the May meeting, we can make a decision?
Like she said, I don't do the ordinance, that's the jury's fault.
No, but you got some say-so in it.
But yeah, but like I said, I think the big thing is for y'all's attorney, you know, to like you said, give something on.
I'll do this.
Explain it where, you know, you don't trust your attorney, you say, hey, okay, he says exactly what Ms. Brett Cross.
Okay, well, I'll run it through the finance committee.
So,
Let's just be clear, you know, there is a window there, so if we don't meet these deadlines, then we miss out on it. And then, not only does the hospital miss out on the police jury misses out on their part, the sheriff misses out on their part, we then fall behind, other parishes get benefit of this, and Louisiana continues being the last in the nation as far as health care because of.
From what I heard, she says as long as it's done before this fiscal year. And so,
I'm just making that.
at the May meeting,
Yeah.
if we can get the sheriff and our DA and our finance committee can meet and iron out some stuff, we can do it in May, and then you'll have it in June.
If you have questions ahead of time, I'd like to put together some questions with the DA. We'll just set up a phone call and then get all your questions answered if you need to have.
I wanna, you know.
We want to answer all your questions.
and you have more questions before you're willing to run the public notice, the 30-day notice, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Any questions you have, please let us know. We'll set up a phone call if y'all like.
So is it dilemma?
Well, one more thing. So what if, so Mr. Riddle's not here, but what if Mr. Riddle chimes in tomorrow during the workday and says,
Ma'am, I'm gonna set a finance committee meeting.
Gotcha.
We're gonna meet. I'm not speeding it up.
do you want us here on April 8th, or is that off? Because that was the
I'll get with my,
resolution.
Chairman, and we'll determine that. But, we should be able to have something for you at the May meeting, okay?
So it's
One way.
it's only 30 days delayed from what y'all want.
Right, so, yeah, the May 13th meeting would be a great time to take up the ordinance to vote on it, but to do that, you have to run the 30-day notice before.
It has to be introduced at a regular meeting first.
Fiscal year, you're talking about December, January 1st to
They're on
December
different-
30th?
they're
So,
different.
and if you,
Oh,
and if
they're
the,
pushing for July.
July 1, yeah,
I was
so,
wondering, what is 30 days?
Well, we'll have it for July.
yeah,
So we
so,
can have it for July.
yeah, there's a couple of moving parts, but, so the month of June will be the month that they all start working with
Don't get
LDH.
upset and angry with us because we wanna.
No, I just,
Okay, all right.
I wanted
In
to,
June, we be voting on it.
We'll have to introduce the actual ordinance at a regular meeting. Then the jury, that'll be, the next one is actually Tuesday, but then after that, it'll be May 13th is the regular
So
meeting.
introduce it in May. Okay.
And then we have
So then June.
We advertise for the
10th,
public
12th would
hearing.
be public meeting.
So May 13th, you'll consider a resolution to run the public notice.
Right.
Yes. And then have that public hearing June 10th.
You won't do it in time because the 30-day notice takes too long.
Yeah.
So you'll miss this year.
No.
Well, no, if they do, they'll
So when is the
So
June meeting?
We'll introduce
But when-
in May, so that'll be
When-
May 13th.
Okay.
We'll
30
run the
days.
ad,
June meeting is when?
that'll be June 10th.
Okay, so you don't have 30 days between those two
There's not
meetings.
30 days.
So you will miss the year.
Correct.
So if you want to, April 8th, we're on the agenda to take up the resolution of running the public notice. Maybe the finance committee could,
We can
It'll
call,
be
we
28
can,
days.
we can call a
I know.
special meeting if we have.
Yeah.
To cover.
Call a special meeting.
I can call, we can call a special meeting. Let us get with the finance committee. If that comes out good, I'll call a special meeting and we'll get in contact with you one way or the other.
If you get the timing right, it's not that we're pushing y'all, it's just the federal government has certain deadlines that we have to meet. It's nothing to push y'all, press
Which
y'all.
would be July 1st, correct?
But I wanna say something, one thing y'all have to realize is that I have to go in my district and
Oh,
talk to
absolutely.
people
Yeah,
about
because they wanna know how much you're gonna charge me to go to the hospital.
So we
Look,
need time to talk to people.
I know what y'all are to go through. And
Start
if we don't use the word tax, I think that's our fault here that we're saying tax. And saying it's a hospital assessment, it will be a lot easier in y'all's districts, I promise y'all.
Okay, all right.
thank you for your
All
time.
right. Thank
Thank
y'all.
y'all very much. We
All right.
really appreciate everything.
Okay. Okay, we'll move to the committee reports now. All right, financial report.
Sure.
Ms. Jamie.
Okay, everybody, we're about 25% into our fiscal year. We have about 75% remaining. So far, we are on track to meet our budget goals. Tourism is the only fund that has a slight variance of about $12,000, and that's due to a decrease with hotel and motel tax. We're hoping with the summer approaching, that'll boost right back up. Ad valorem for the month of February, the general fund collected $7,455. The library collected $23,158. Drainage, $13,072. Health unit is $14,940. Sales tax that's our key revenue source, is down by about 30% compared to January, which totaled out at $402. DMV tax has taken a upward trend. So we're at $98,000 for the DMV tax. For our revenue and expenditure, I have a graph on the first 2 pages of the report that I normally give you guys that shows the budgeted side and what's actual. If you go to the last page, that is the cash balance report. If you want to take a look at it, if you have any questions, I did send out Mr. Jimmy the check for the citation that he collected. So there's a small balance in that account, but we're hoping that'll grow as time goes. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Mr. Chairman, have we received all our revenue shares, or too, or?
Yes, we did.
Everything?
Just got it today. It was,
It's on,
20, no, it does not, that's not included. I think it was like 23 or 28,000. But that's not in that balance that you have there. So you have to add it to it.
Any other questions? Thank you, ma'am. Next up is OSA, Mr. Joey.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just let everybody know the trees have been planted. Planted 5 along the side and planted 3 in the back. Mr. Rupert Ward waiting on payment from FEMA. They tried to get it done before, but I think Ms. Jamie and I said no. We don't have the funds to go ahead and do that. Starlink, I talked to Travis one time before about Starlink. This is our last opportunity before we have to deobligate the money. It's about $400 annually per satellite. I just need to make sure that we don't want Starlink. So if y'all have any, thing on that. LEMC, the Louisiana Emergency Management Conference, is in May 5th, the 8th. Reimbursement will be through the EMPG grant, so I'd like to attend that. I don't know if everybody's aware, but the National Guard, the governor appointed the National Guard to take over GOSEP. So I'm not sure what changes or anything else is going to happen with that. So we'll go from there on that part. Twan is either straightened, reinstalled, or did whatever about 87 signs. Brian sprayed out a clover at the Ag Center, and he's going to Bartonville as soon as it kind of dries up a little bit to spray the clover there. What happens, the clover just it crumps up on the moor and everything else, so had more clover than we had grass. He's a spray Bartonville also. We need to look at the corner of the building over here by Judge Pool. That wall starting to bulge out. I've tried to call several contractors over the years and never was able to get one to come and look at it. So if anybody knows any structural engineers to come and look at it, but it's getting worse as we go along. Marksville Health Unit, the ceiling's been completed. We're gonna have a change order of approximately no more than $5,800. And reason is, they had a bunch of lights in there that was just secured with the staples, is what happened in the other one. So Jamie Russ, while he was there, he went ahead and secured all the lights, and we did some ceiling tiles on that. Generator's online, and we're waiting for one more certification on the generator. And that concludes my report, if anybody has any questions.
What was the original quote on the ceiling to start off with?
I have to go, I don't remember exactly.
Was it $5,800?
How much?
Was it $5,800? Was it more than the change order?
No, I don't remember exactly what it was. I have to go back.
I'd really like to know really what went on there.
Yeah, they took and they had, I don't know if you've ever been to the health unit, but like right over, they had a big glass window that wasn't in the grid. So I was asked by Miss Dr. O and Miss Julie to go ahead and extend it all to help with the energy also. So that was part of it. And then he's gonna send me a breakdown of everything of what he did. But then he re-secured all the lights to the wall with some like just staples that was holding it up in the rafters. So he screwed a eye bolt and put the wire going from an eye bolt from a screw rather than just a thing. That's what happened to this one. Luckily nobody got hurt. A lot of them over desks and everything else.
Who inspects those jobs when they're done?
The original one?
Yeah, I mean, how did that
it'd be the engineering company.
And
Yeah, you talking about when it was
the
built?
original scope of the job?
I mean,
For it to be that far off, I guess. We can check on that after.
Yeah,
You
but
should
I'm
have,
let's
you
work
should
on
have
that
a
after.
breakdown of what he did for the.
Oh yeah, on this one, yes sir. But original, I mean that was done, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, I think it was, whenever it was done.
You had to go throughout the library where they had to and secure it. That way we wouldn't have that problem in all these areas.
Talking about the health unit, not the library, right?
No, the health unit,
Yeah.
health unit.
The health unit.
Yes,
But
the
the
health
bids that
unit.
were given in front of us not long ago apparently didn't have this in there.
No.
no.
So he arbitrarily just did the work and says now change order.
No.
$5,800.
It was kind of agreed that while he was there, we go ahead and do it.
presented before.
Yes.
Who agreed?
Myself and Dr. O and the health unit. And Mr. Benson was also
So when I
involved
went
with it.
and seen that was extra work, I started asking questions. Okay. Why we need a change order and what are we doing? And then we walked around the health unit and we seen where you had lights hanging. And there was a good possibility they were gonna fall. So I guess
Well,
that's how this all came.
it's probably preventative that it needed to be done, but guys, we need to, when you come before us and ask us for something, that's what it needs to be.
I was unaware
Well,
that,
but you need to, we
Yes,
need
sir.
to
I
stress
was-
that to them.
yeah.
And it's not our fault.
I was unaware that the other ones were all the same way too, until we
And
started
it's
checking.
not like they don't have the money. Okay?
I understand, but it's just, yes.
it's just-
But that's where, you know, I just want to let everybody know what it was, what happened, is of why.
Okay.
And also you put the new flags up, huh?
Yes, sir. Governor, Lieutenant Governor was there, and so we got them from the Bunkie Rotary Club, donated them and put them up. I think maybe Representative Dizitel donated them to the Bunkie Rotary and then went from there. Also, Representative Dizitel's mini splits are up and running too. They're all completed. All righty.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank y'all.
Thank you, Jim. All right, road, bridge, and drainage, Mr. Kevin.
Well, I think I answered Mr. Turner's questions as best I could. Came in. A lot of our roads really don't have a designated right-of-way. According to the DA, we claim to the backside of the ditches. When there are no ditches, we can claim a certain width. So I kind of told him that and directed him to the district attorney's office to get a more clarification on that. We had a few trees down with this latest winds that's blowing. Big thank you to the Hesper Fire Department. Crews that we just come in a little after 8 o'clock last night, got another call out in Hesper, and then the homeowner called me back. He said, "Hey, Hesper Fire Department's here. They're gonna clear the road for y'all." So it was nice because everybody just got home, and I'd already called them back out, so I turned them around, let them go back home. You know, so. We've still been catching a lot of rains. Rock budget is running about $30,000 over our monthly expenditures where we should be at, which we were a little higher than that before, but we're just under 30,000 right now. You know, graders are still trying to catch up. I know some people are calling, saying my road hadn't been graded, but sometimes it's still too wet to grade that road. One today I got a call, where, you know, the road hadn't been graded. Well, he was there yesterday, but I told him and he agreed, hold off on that road till tomorrow, you know, give it another day to dry. And so we're working on all that. Today we were removing the culverts over by the old Garin plant. Mr. Mark came by, Mr. Clyde came by. We got them all out. We'll finish that job up tomorrow morning. Get all that out like they want. So we found a new pickup at Avoyelles Auto Sales. Purchased it first of this week. It's a three-quarter ton four-wheel drive like we were looking for, and we're still looking for one more. So as they get something in, they'll call us, you know, because we're too short right now. We have a couple laborers that we're probably going to be putting on in the next couple of weeks. There's grass cutting is starting in 2 weeks. So that'll pull some of my guys that we have on other things. That's going to be, you know, they'll be staying in bush hogs on tractors. And our spraying is going to come in right with the bush hogs. We always start at Easter, bush hog and roadside ditches and everything. Questions on anything?
Kim, how many tractors do you have, Clinton?
2.
What was the original job?
Anybody else?
And that's the new tractors we bought in the last couple of years. One last year, 1 year before. They run pretty good. One new bush hog. We're still running one old bush hog. It's gonna run again this year. That's probably gonna be another one that we'll put on for next year, you know. We've got some equipment we're looking at that'll be coming up at the next meeting, and some equipment we're gonna be selling that's gonna be coming up at the next meeting. I'll have a list for you.
All right, got 2 more windy days.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
as long as we don't get all that rain they were talking about, we'll see.
Yeah,
Most of our buyers have had a chance to go down, looking at the Kool-Aids and everything. So if we get some more big rains, I don't anticipate any flooding. You know, the school board's always calling, but the trees and the grass are sucking up the moisture pretty good. Yeah.
And we got the big culverts up?
Yeah, we
Okay.
took them up today, and we'll finish that job tomorrow. Right now, it's so deep we have to bench down to finish cutting cutting the bottom out, cleaning all that up.
All right.
All right?
Thanks, sir.
Okay.
Next up, the permits, Miss April's not here, Miss Jamie has the numbers for us.
Yes, sir. For the month of March, there was a total of 159 permits. 35 of those were rentals. There were 24 purchase, new, I'm assuming. 5 RV setups, 22 new constructions, 8 new mobile homes, 17 electrical, 19 RV, 24 contractor renewals, 2 water wells, 2 generators, and 1 swimming pool. And their next meeting will be April 30th at the Parish.
Had a pretty good meeting yesterday at the barn with the contractors. I thought that went pretty good. A few of us went, so that was good. HUD, we lost our HUD director and our assistant. We've already applied for that, and our director allows us to, in case of emergency, to hire somebody, and I want to commend our personnel committee, both Chairman, Mr. Allen, Mr. Clyde, and Mr. Mark, and myself sit down, and Ms. Jamie, and we were able to hire somebody to take that place. You know her name?
Danielle Michelle.
Okay. And we hired an assistant also.
The housing inspector
Inspector, yeah.
is part-time, and that's Mr. Brad Fasten.
So, thank you guys for doing that. They stayed up here a while going through that. So, thank you very much. Okay, next up, Miss Neely, Library.
Hello, how's it going? So we have some really awesome events coming up. The Riders on the Orphan Train will be in Mansura tomorrow at 2. We're kicking off Love the Boot Week on Saturday, rain or shine. We also have National Library Week is next week. There's a lot of things in progress at the moment. We have some trees being removed at headquarters. Mr. Mack, Lemoyne's Tree Service has been there most of the week in preparation for the parking lot project. We've been having a lot of things going on, a lot of awesome progress. We'd be here all night if I would go over everything that's happened in that past month. But I would like to call attention to the highlighted portion on the board agenda that I provided. Because I want to say it was Tuesday, we came into the library and the AC was out upstairs. Barry could vouch for that. He was there yesterday talking about Love the Boot, and it was about 85 degrees when I left the library up there. And I did get some quotes together to provide. I'm waiting on a third quote from Ormond's Air, but I would like to request if we could expedite this approval so we can get our AC back at the library.
It'll have to be done next Tuesday.
Right. And they did say, both technicians said it would take 5 to 10 days once the parts were ordered too. So that's why I was gonna ask.
You kinda got an eyeball price?
It's, the first quote was $12,000, and the second quote was $22,000.
Yeah,
So I
the
would recommend
difference is-
going with the first quote.
The second one is a heat pump, the first one is
I
not.
guess we could set a amount not to exceed a certain amount.
Neely, you might have to ask TT LaBoard, they submitted a quote. They submitted a heat pump. The one that's right here on the first one from Service Air.
Option 2 is the cooler, that he did provide 2. And the second one is 21,000, well, or right at 22, which is still a significant amount.
You gonna try to get a third one, see?
I did request one from Ormond's Air, yes.
Okay.
If we could get that on the Tuesday agenda, that'd be great.
It's all gonna be on there now. So the quotes are on TV now.
Any questions for Neely?
And again, we'll have a board meeting on Wednesday, April 16th.
I'll make that now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, Letter Bateman, Mr.
Neely,
Berry.
You didn't have no trouble with the right-of-ways where the trees are, with the Other people? Okay.
Right on the fence, on
So far, so good.
Huh?
right on the fence.
Cutting everything on her side.
Okay.
So they in, they in the fence?
Yeah, we're just taking off everything on her side.
And it looks great.
Fences
Good evening,
for the other
everybody.
people.
For the month of March, I only picked up 12 tires, which is a good improvement compared to what we've been picking up every day. So the tire picking up is working. We're seeing less and less tires on the side of the road and the ditches. And I see a lot more or less of Mr. James every day. Current litter investigations, that's stuff that I found, trash bags with personal information. Actually, I had one today. Kevin, the road grader operator, called me. I went out, and those guys' information was all in the trash. So I got 6 of those that I'm working right now. The problem is that I'm having is catching these people home to be able to talk to them about how that trash got there and whatnot. So it's a bit of a process. You don't just find the paperwork and then write a citation. There's a lot of work that goes into it. So hopefully, maybe, that will be 6 citations written in the next couple of weeks.
Barrett, do you fine them
Yes.
at the time?
Well, I write them a citation for them to appear in court, but they can also pay it if they decide just to pay it. It's up to them. Last one we had just decided to pay the fine the last day of, it would have been the day of court, she paid it that morning, so. Active investigations for property ordinance violations, we actually have 14 total. Some of those are in the progress part of it. Some of them are still just being started. So just to kind of break it down, nuisance property packets, we have 7 that are basically complete, 2 blighted properties that are basically complete, and then 1 condemnation. Some of these people have reached out and they've already started to do their own work to try to take care of these issues. I had a phone call with one of them today. They want to try to work out an agreement with the landowner that's adjacent to their property to see if they basically want to give him the property if he cleans it up. So like I told them, everybody would do that. We sent out 5 new ones. So that's going to be like our second batch for our next hearing panel that we have. They should have gotten those letters already, which they did because that was one of them that called me today. So the next batch of certified letters that goes out to them will be for the hearing for the next month. Permit checks, I didn't have any. I didn't see any new construction or anything going on. I still got that one surveillance site set up with a camera, and there's been nothing there, so I'm probably gonna go pull that camera down. We've actually already talked to those guys. They'll be at the hearing on April 22nd, and we can talk to them some more about that property. I'm working on the grant. The grants are now just been opened for this come next fiscal year, 26. So just like with the other stuff, the fiscal year ends June 30th. So July 1st, they'll know how much money they have, and then they take from the top of the pile or from the bottom of the pile and work their way up. So the first ones that get the grants submitted got a better chance of getting some money than the ones that don't. So I already have someone working on writing that grant. I know the engineering guys offered to help, so if I might reach out to you if we get, but she's already written quite a few for Keep Louisiana Beautiful. She already had it all written up, so we just got to change a little bit of verbiage and submit it. So that was a big help. She sent it to me last night. And that's anywhere between $2,500 and $10,000. And there's a bunch of stipulations. I'll go over it with the jury offline. I'm not going to go through everything right now. But it's a big benefit for the litter program, because with those cameras, that's where we can make some money. I responded to numerous litter complaints, people calling in. Some of that was some of the trash that I found. We're coordinating some cleanup events for Love to Boot weekend. Like Neely said, Saturday I have one in Cottonport. I'll be out there helping them, just assisting with providing safety with my security lights on the truck. I think they have 6 like districts they broke it out into, and Mr. Kevin told me that he would. I'm going to designate one dump spot for him to have everything where we can go and pick it up for him. And we got a hearing panel meeting set for April 22nd at 1:30 here in the police jury room. We got 8 people coming to that I know of so far, unless they bring somebody else. That's the properties that we got blighted, nuisance, and condemnations. I met with the mayors of Cottonport, Hesmer, and Marksville so far. And most of them are on board with the litter program, working with inside their municipalities. And we're gonna work on getting some memorandums of agreement signed.
The JP in the Simsbury area reached out to me 2 weeks ago. They're interested in doing the Simsbury area also.
Okay. Just give him my number, tell him to give me a call.
The mayor of Evergreen wants to talk to you too.
Okay.
She's gonna be calling you.
All right. And somebody said the mayor of Bunk is here?
She just had to leave.
Okay. I was gonna try to catch her and talk to her. But anyway, I'll get to it. I'm working them slowly as I can get to them and you know, adjust. They got a schedule to keep too, so we got a lot going on right now. I attended the city council meeting in Cottonport, and we talked about a lot of that stuff, and I also talked about helping them fill up the boot. Neely's got a bunch of stuff to give them, some little hand pickers, garbage bags, and all that stuff for their event. Given it's not raining, they're giving 80% rain Saturday, so we'll see. And then I've been spending a lot of time working inside my office building. Got all the walls put up, all the electricals installed. I painted in there the last 2 days. So really all I got left is to put the flooring and the back wall. So as time permits and I'm not working violations and property inspections and sending out certified lead and all that, I'm working in my office. So that's where I'll be if y'all need to find me if I'm not available somewhere else. And then just continuing to improve our program every day. Some of the concerns I got is having a radio while I'm out there, because I'm going to some pretty rough places with some of these places. I'm gonna have to go write these citations, and I need to have communication with the local law enforcement. Mr. Joey has a radio, and David's just waiting to upgrade their radio software or whatever, and we already talked about that. So. And then I also want to look into the parish putting in for the grants to tear these houses down, because I talked to the mayor of Marksville yesterday, and they got $640,000 in grant money from the federal government. So I don't see why the parish can't put in for that grant as well.
Is that?
That's to tear houses down.
But is that in a block grant scenario where, you know, like low income aspect, kind of like they do the roads?
He didn't specify.
He can tell you.
He just told me that his engineers wrote the grant.
Look right there.
It doesn't have a low income aspect, it is CDBG though.
So if we get that grant.
So you gotta choose?
An area, yeah.
Oh, so
It's
it's
not all
either
over the
or,
city.
okay.
It's not all over the city? It is, but it's whichever one you select it, but it doesn't have the low income aspect that's.
So the parish would have to already have some pre-stamped homes that we wanted.
Yes.
So that kind of confuses things with the legality side of
They
it.
have a long list of homes.
How many areas can you choose, though?
Already started and then they added.
I want to say he told me it was about 37 houses that they had selected.
So we'll have a list.
Oh, yeah, I could give you a list of about 500 right now off the top of my head. But I don't know about the legal.
I don't think they
legal part of
started
it.
spending the money yet, huh?
Yes, they've done asbestos abatement, they haven't torn them down yet, but we'll get
Yeah.
those.
I mean, that's what I mean, they haven't torn anything.
But if we can get that money, that $640,000 that the police jury has to work these blighted properties, nuisance properties, that we don't have to pay out of pocket jury money, taxpayers' money to initially clean up these sites, it can come from there. I'll try to get more information on it for everybody. I just wanted to bring that up. I just found out about it. I didn't realize it was that much money. So, anybody got any questions? All right, thank y'all.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Rhett, you have anything for us?
Good evening, jurors, ladies and gentlemen. Brett DeSalle with Pan American Engineers. The roadway improvement project is advertising right now. We're going to receive bids April 29th at 10 a.m. It's a Tuesday. First advertisement went out last Friday. There's another advertisement coming out this Friday and the following Friday. Other than that, Joey talked about the generator project. We have a little bit of cleanup left to do, and we have one more test to do, and that'll be complete. And the multi-purpose recreational complex, the engineering and plan development's well underway, and we're working on it. And we still have the CWEF grants and LGAP grant applications that have been sent in, and we're working previous year's grants. That's all I have.
Thanks, sir. All right.
Mr. President, on the engineer here.
Okay.
We went, I know a couple of y'all came and met with me with the industrial park. And I'm calling this job industrial park improvements. We went back again late yesterday afternoon after we finished with the Road District 2 bids and little meeting. And Delta's going to provide us with some elevation shots on that building that keeps flooding. And people, residents out there, I call them customers, but the businesses out there that are having the water problems. And they're gonna give me just one more shot way in the back where I told you where we could drain the water to. Give us something better to work to make the job go easier. So,
Those like the cypress trees you talking about?
yeah, those cedar trees in the back in the wooded area. For those of y'all that don't know, there's two businesses in particular at the industrial park. One takes water in their building at all times when they get big rains, and they've got well over $1 million worth of equipment in that one building. The other business had built their business up, but all around their business is a lake whenever we get a rain. So we're looking at taking some of the water now all the water goes to the front towards Highway 1, taking a percentage of that water and bringing out the back through the wooded areas that we own, the industrial district owns, bringing some of that water out the back to try to help that. You know, there's a mason, a granite company that's going to be starting in there. What they said, they already bought a piece of property, and they're in a low area. This will help that company also. So it'll catch everything from the like Mardell products and what's Jody's. What his company, whatever Jody Shanbass company, and bring a lot of water out the back.
You talked to him about doing the ditch on the side of the building?
Yeah. Anything on their property they have to do. The ditch is on us around the back.
But he was saying he wanted to run a pipe.
But he's not gonna run that little bitty pipe. Told him to do an open ditch for right now, and then once we cut this big ditch, he'll run some big drainage structures on both sides of that building to bring it to the big ditch that we're gonna cut. And the same thing around Mardell Products and whatever that granite company is that's moving in there. All right.
Yeah, we need to help those people because they pay a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
I was with Kevin yesterday, and C&G is fixing to expand.
Right.
They're fixing to build another large building in their wood products. And then they have that granite company that's going to be moving in there also. The industrial park is growing.
Yeah.
We got a lot of room in those buildings to increase the employees over there.
Yeah.
So we need to help them as much as possible.
All right, moving to business. Letter A, we'll have a public hearing Tuesday for revisions to the nuisance and blighted property and condemnation of buildings at 445. B, Travis, you want to hit on that?
Yes, sir. Juryman, we have 3 quotes for the Barlownville Library. So over the last few months, when the Barlownville Library within the 2 rooms, I would say, within the school itself that was designated for the library, and Neely, correct me if I'm wrong or saying anything, they went forward with construction, renovated, and have it pretty much ready, and it's open right now. The one thing that they have, though, is that the electrical in there was all wired into the school itself. So there is just 1 meter, and the Barlownville Fire has that account under them. So it never was wired up to have its own meter for the library itself. So if you look in the back, I say in the back, middle ways, you will see that there's 3 quotes for you to review, and then we can vote on it on Tuesday.
All right.
And then also, abatement also, that was paid. I just want the jury to consider, for the out of the library fund, to consider reimbursing on the abatement that was paid by the fire. Again, I was told this information. There's a lot that's went on over the last year or 2, and there was things asked of the Barlownville Fire Department, and then they paid for some furniture, paid for different things, not sure why.
They volunteered to do the.
Yeah.
They wanted to do all kinds.
Now they want it back.
We never asked.
Yeah, from what I understand, I think it's two sides in the fire district, and one side agreed to do it without board approval. That's what I
Without
understand.
board approval. So again, for right now, with the jury, the real factual stuff I see is that we needed to take into consideration these 3 quotes to do the electrical and put their own meter. That's the factual. Now, coming into the abatement and coming into the chairs and the furniture and all these other things, again, I'm getting second and third hand information as to what happened. I was not involved in any of that, and I don't think a lot of us were here. So if y'all want, we can find out some more information on that.
They want reimbursement.
Yes. Yes, they want.
Yeah, they've been on Mr. Allen, I think, some.
You had nothing in writing?
What's that?
Mr. Allen, you may know a little bit. They were on you about they had paid for furniture and all these other things
Yeah,
they wanted
that's
to
all
pay
these
back.
other things that were put in here, and apparently the folks over there were told by the previous president of the library board that they needed to kick in and help out when the library board was sitting on $4 million. And those people wanted the library so bad they did that. But they also did it without permission from the fire department's board of directors. They never went to the board, they just went ahead and did it. And the fire department ended up footing the bill. And so it's a payback for some of it, it goes back to the fire department.
So how long ago this was? How long ago this was?
About a year ago.
So there was no verbal, just all verbal, basically?
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
How much money are we talking about?
Yeah. How much furniture and stuff?
There's a lot of receipts in here, but I don't know.
There's all kind of receipts, and I didn't know. We might not have to get back with the fire department to get a better structure of what this is all about.
That's something y'all need to talk about.
That would
How you
ultimately
wanna
come out
handle
of library funds, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Y'all need
Maybe
to-
do that, Nita. I won't be there, but
I'll be
add
there.
that and have the powers to be, Mr. Allen. I know you'll be there and the jurymen and stuff. To hash out again. I mean, it happened a year ago, and you know, it's a result of lack of policies and procedures, if you ask me my opinion. And then now it's a year later. But again, it's the jury's decision, and or the library board, and how do they see it when they have y'all meeting in April? Maybe we can reconvene on that if y'all want to in a month or two.
That would come out of the library funds, wouldn't it?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, Dave, you might want to talk about this at your meeting. Okay?
But for Tuesday, guys, if we can settle
Yeah.
on, and let's vote on the 3 quotes for the electrical for the meter to be done, if you don't mind.
Not reimbursement.
Sir? No, this is something new. Yes, sir,
Yeah.
this is
And the
3 quotes.
Asbestos abatement.
No, that was a reimbursement also.
so we'll wait
Let's
on
just go
those.
into 3 quotes, talking about all this. 3 quotes, nothing's been done yet, our approval, then Neely can move forward on that little project to get their own meter.
Okay. All right, C, we'll be adopting the 2025 millage rates. D, I got this email this week, it was on our ITEP committee. I'm gonna let Jamie, she called down there and they explained it a little better, so you wanna,
I can. I spoke to HUD with the Economic Development Board, and they're saying this is not mandatory, but the parish can form a committee, have something in the packet for you guys to look at. It does say in here where we would need a representative from the police jury, school board, sheriff, and a point of contact, a non-voting member. I think Heath said he would be
Yeah.
the ex officio.
Right. Heath, I talked to Heath, and he also will be the point of contact.
Okay, he will too? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think he can have 2 portals though on that new program they're running. I don't think you can have 2 user IDs because he's the assessor, so he already has a user ID in that next gen. That's what they've transitioned to. But I can check. I mean, and that's fine if
But
he wants to do
well,
that.
he said he would be the point of contact.
That's fine.
He'd be glad to
Sheriff
do it.
Dozot, if you want to elect him, if you'd like to be on the board.
I talked to Heath already.
Okay.
Kinda how it's all.
Y'all on board with it?
Yep. So we'll just
I
vote
talked to
on
you
that.
earlier about it. so-
Right.
We vote on that Tuesday.
Okay.
Who spoke to the school board? I think Heath spoke to someone at the school board.
Yeah, he said
Who-
something
who
about it. I
wants to
don't
be
know who he
on-
talked to, but
Okay,
he did
someone
talk to
there.
someone at school.
Okay. So we'll just add that to the
And
agenda for Tuesday.
and Alan's already over economic development, so I think he could be our representative as far as that. Okay, just want to make sure, so if we want this, we'll vote on it Tuesday night. And then we have, any of you Road District 2 guys want to talk about the next one?
Yeah, Jacob.
All right, thank y'all. We opened bids on the Road District 2 project on April 2nd, so yesterday afternoon. And the bids came in a little over budget. Well, our low bid came in at $1,093,390. We have $950,000 with our $800,000 road district budget and our $150,000 road and bridge budget that's been allotted to Jacob's district and Miss Allen's district. So what we're going to ask y'all to award it is based on a deductive change order. You know that, and what we're going to do right now, we're putting together the list of roads with the items that go with each road and the associated costs to try to meet with the road district. I think we're going to meet Tuesday, Jacob.
Yeah.
And try to come up with a reduced scope. What roads may have to be may come out, or portions of roads, and then we'll do a change order after that. But we can award based on a deductive change order to get the funds within the available funds for construction.
So Jacob, quick question. I'm here concerned on the deductive change order.
Yes, sir.
What is the legality on that?
Why can't you wait after?
I think what he's trying to say is, whenever we set the budget, I think you and I spoke, we said a certain amount.
Right.
And it's coming back a lot higher.
Yes.
I'm not concerned about the road and bridge board because they'll have the funds to pay it. I'm concerned with Road District 2 having a balance of $943.
Okay.
And how much they'll have to pay, how much will I have to write from that account?
We have it right now. We have the budget set at $800,000 from the road district.
Okay, how much?
$800,000.
And the rest will be from Road and Bridge for your
That's
part
correct.
in?
Just, 75 to 75, yeah.
With the 150 they got?
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, so it's $950 including the road and bridge money.
Yeah.
So they got 150.
Yeah, so that's correct. And so we're looking to try to reduce the cost of the project by $150,000 approximately.
So 150 the road and bridge, giving them, wouldn't be enough money for the bid?
No, sir.
It's still not enough?
No.
No, they have a total of 950, and his award was like $1,080,000.
It's, yeah.
$1,093,000 on one.
They over $100,000 over budget.
$1,093,000?
Yeah.
They like
It's right
100,000
at
over.
150,000. You can just say 150,000 is what needs to be cut.
Can you have your meeting, make your reduction, and then come back to the police jury and then approve that, just to make it clean?
Yeah.
Rather
That's
than
what I
change
was-
the order?
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Y'all will? Okay.
Well,
Standard thing we always.
yeah, I think we'll have our road selected. We just won't have a change order in hand because we're having the road district meeting right before the police jury meeting. So we'll have our decision on what we're going to take out, and how we'll reduce it, but it won't be in a change order format.
Yeah, y'all meeting can just say not to exceed.
Yeah, well, that's what our resolution, and I can pass it out, but it basically says that we're going to award it to the low bidder contingent upon the execution of a deductive change order to reduce the contract costs within the funds available for construction. So our funds available for construction are $950,000. And so we can't move forward unless the contractor signs that change order to reduce the scope.
What's the low bid?
What was the bid again, Jacob?
Let me pass these out.
I have an email.
$1,093,000.
Yeah,
$1,093,000.
The contractor already said he didn't have a problem.
Ain't got it.
Right.
Make one.
But by putting that contingency in the resolution.
Oh, yeah, just.
If the budget will.
And then they come back with a high amount, and a reduction.
So basically, by doing this, we're not going to delay the project till the next, awarding the project till the May meeting. So it just gets it all done. I mean, I've opened bids before, right before the meeting, and this is how you do it if it comes in over budget and you want to award it. And if we can't come up with a change order that works for everybody, then it's not awarded. We don't move forward.
Again, your motion will say not to exceed $950,000.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're gonna award it
that's
to your lowest bid
We
contractor.
just cut out road district 2 funds, and then whatever else, we just pay it for road. Yeah. So during the meeting, we'll say 30 or road district.
Okay.
And then the remainder will come from road
So-
and bridge. That way the auditors know they
Okay.
can go.
Good. 850 road.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Oh, and we talked about the condemnation grant through the CDBG program. I can get with Barry and we can talk about it. I can give you the details and we can present it to y'all, how it goes down. They change it every year, a little bit on the requirements, so just make sure that it's not different. But it's not due until December, so we got time. We're not, the applications are due in December. It's not a rush. Okay.
All right. Any other business need to come before the committee? Not? We adjourn. Thank y'all.